Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMScast. I'm joined today with Allie Mathis. How are you doing, Allie?
Great. How are you, Chris?
Awesome. Well, good to have you on the show. In this episode, we're going to be talking about getting the right web team for your project. So if you've been following us for a while, perhaps you saw on LMScast the last episode where we talked about how to evolve from just being a one-person show with your learning platform, your membership site, your online course, your LMS, your web application, whatever it is, to go from being a one-person show to having at least a decent web hosting account and start building a team so that you're not doing it all. But if you're watching this video, you're probably already at that stage where you're exploring, looking for a team to support you. And the company behind LifterLMS is called codeBOX. You can find out more about us at gocodebox.com. And one of the things we do at codeBOX is we build custom learning projects or platforms on top of LifterLMS that often incorporate Lifter, or we bring in other technology and integrate through other third-party APIs, and really just build whatever you can think of in terms of a user story of what you want your platform to do, what you want the experience to be. We can build literally anything, and that's more of a custom development project. So if you're at that spot where you're looking to hire a team, you should start interviewing and looking around and exploring what your options are. You could go with a freelancer. You could go with an agency. You could go with one of your friends who you think Mike does web design. But there's some important things you should know about setting yourself up for success, because if you fail with your web company, it can be very expensive, it can be very painful, and you can not get the outcome or make the progress you want to have. So when we start our engagements with clients, we get to know each other a little bit, and Allie here leads up a lot of our discovery processes with codeBOX, where we get to know our clients and figure out exactly what we're going to build and consult on that and come up with a detailed timeline and estimate. But we get to know each other, and one of the things we find out early on is there's a common thing we see that clients have experienced, and it relates to dealing with a previous web team or a team they're not having a great time with. But can you tell us more about what this common trend we're seeing is?
Sure, Chris. Yeah, in the past couple of discoveries we've had in speaking to our clients about their past experiences, a lot of them have commented to me that they've had unpleasant experiences just due to poor communication from the web development team, which possibly is partially due to poor organization, just not returned emails. So that leaves the client kind of confused and alienated from the team, and they're not really sure what's going on with their project. They haven't heard back from anybody, and they just feel really frustrated.
Yeah, and that's really too bad. It's as an education entrepreneur, whatever it is you're trying to build on the web, when you start looking for that team to support you, especially if you're not in an urban area or a bigger city, you're going to be looking for a remote team to do what they do. Either you're looking in other parts of the world which have different currencies with different pricing, so you're trying to get more bang for your buck, or you're trying to go where the best talent is. So if you're looking for a development team that specializes in building learning platforms on top of LifterLMS, this is the absolute best one. So if that's important to you, you would come to codeBOX for that. But you have to look around, and when you work with a team that's offshore or not in your town that you may never see face to face, that involves a lot of trust, and it can be really disappointing when that relationship doesn't work out or you feel ignored. And I don't know what's more frustrating than asking a question or checking in on for a progress update and then hearing nothing, hearing crickets. There's nothing that could be more frustrating than that, especially if I had a lot of money on the line. I'd really value that communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, I can speak for myself personally, but I try to respond to all of our client emails, same day, often within the same hour. And when we run a project, we communicate with the clients on a weekly basis. If necessary, we talk to them more, but we always schedule a weekly check-in call just so we can show them or talk to them about what we've been working on and ask questions. And so, they really get to know us well, and we get to know them well. And I think it just makes for a much better process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just one of those things where I think you get what you pay for. So you can probably find somewhere on the internet where you can get a website built for you for very cheap, but you're not going to get that communication. You're not going to get that team behind it. You're not going to get the good advice and the consulting along the way. And you may get a team that's not able to actually execute on what you're asking for or can't adapt with you as your needs and your priorities change during the project. So I'd encourage you to really check out your options out there. And if you are looking for economic value, to be aware of the trap of taking your project to something that you find like on a website that's super cheap or outsource everything. And because you kind of do get what you pay for. And we've just, in the past, we've called it developer abuse. And I don't necessarily like that term, but I feel like I've just heard a lot of potential clients and customers just having a hard time with working with and communicating with their development team and even feeling taken advantage of, like once the money exchanged hands or the project got underway, that all of a sudden the communication that was there during the sales process just totally disappeared, which we do the opposite. And it's just that communication is so key.
Yeah, and I think part of that comes from, part of our package is having a dedicated project manager on the projects who's able to maybe translate what the developers are saying in the technical language to something that the clients can really understand if they're not, as technically minded as the developers are, and just be that bridge of communication, which is really, really important.
Absolutely. And Allie, you have an incredible gift at that. And building that digital bridge is key because you have to, I like to think of us first as foremost at codeBOX as solving business problems. So we really want to get to know you. We want to know what you're trying to build, where you're trying to get to in terms of success. Because if we don't understand that, if we don't communicate and understand each other around that, then we can't bring the best digital or technological software solution to make that happen. We need to understand those business problems, and we need to be able to communicate that down to the engineering level, and vice versa. When we're getting advice from the engineering level, we need to be able to advise that to someone who's speaking more the language of business and what they need for their project. So effective project management and communication is absolutely essential. It's what separates the projects that go well with ones that exceed expectations and so on. So.
And I mean, I think that's honestly really one of my favorite things about my job is getting to know the clients and hearing about their companies and their businesses and their challenges and their problems, and just building a relationship with them. And I think that's what makes codeBOX so special and where we really excel. I really enjoy having, we have several sort of VIP clients that have been clients of ours for a long time that we have, regular weekly calls with. And I look forward to it every week. I look forward to hearing how they're doing, how their project is doing, how their business is doing. And we really make an effort, to get to know our clients, and they feel like friends, more than business partners sometimes.
Absolutely. And just to close it out, I just want to leave with a metaphor. I heard somebody once say that when you build a house, everybody hates their contractor when they're done, or the building team. And that really just means there wasn't good communication there. And we like to take the opposite approach. Like when we get done building your web property or your home on the internet, we value a relationship at the end just as much as at the beginning and during the middle. So we want to end up as that trusted technology partner for you that you can always count on and know that you can get in touch with and communicate with, and with problems or new ideas or new features or new concepts you want to flesh out. So, but yeah, we're here to build the best possible house for you and also communicate well with you along that journey. So thank you for checking out this episode of LMScast. I would encourage you, if you haven't checked it out yet, go to gocodebox.com. Again, GoCodeBox is the company that makes the LifterLMS software, and it's over at GoCodeBox where we do our client projects, our custom development and design. So go ahead, Allie.
You can also subscribe to our company newsletter on our website, and that's a great way to learn more about our team and what we're working on, just individually and as a company, and follow us on Facebook as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, that newsletter, go check it out. It's not your average newsletter where a company just tries to sell you stuff. We talk about what's going on with us as individuals and spotlight interesting things that we're seeing around the web or with our clients. So again, go to gocodebox.com, find the subscribe link, and we look forward to catching you in the next episode.